Hey everybody, Noel Pulanco and
Mike Stout
with the Big Guys Biz Show. Thanks for tuning in this time. I had Tom Schultz on a couple of weeks ago, one of my buddies from high school that started his own business. I just happened to have another old school buddy, Charles Shepard, with Alpha Appliance Repair. Charles, introduce yourself to the world.
Well, my name's Charles Shepard, and I'm with Alpha Appliance Repair. It's my business. It's fairly new. We're 5 months into it, and I've been lucky enough to work with some great property managers and customers so far. Been in the business for. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. That's how Charles and I reconnected. Is he was seeing some of our posts about property management, and a lot of you out there know Jason Stiglitz, and we all go way back since the high school Apollo days in the mid '90s. Remember?
Yes.
Remember Offspring? I just saw them in concert the other night. They were big back then. Anyway, so Charles hit us up, said, "Hey, I'm doing appliance stuff, and as a property manager, we always need good, fast appliance repair people because those freaking ice makers and those washer and dryers and all of that crap has issues." So, Charles, how did you get in to doing appliance stuff?
Well, years ago, I was in automotive, and I had a friend transition from automotive to appliance repair, and he brought me along with him. So it's a lot better schedule, more one-on-one with customer. It's more rewarding. So that's about how we got into it.
What do you find more rewarding about it than working on somebody's car?
Well, mind you, I wasn't the one working on the cars. I was the advisor or the manager.
Gotcha.
But I've cut out the middleman. So it's just me, my work, and what I do for the customer.
That's awesome.
So it makes it a lot easier.
And I see you got boxes full of stuff. Is that just all supplies and parts? I'm sure you have to carry around like an array of things, right?
Well, it's difficult to stock parts for every single appliance. The boxes you see behind me are things that actually need to be cleaned out because they're empty or used parts in the back that have been replaced, broken parts.
Gotcha. So that's got to be difficult. I mean, I see an array of different brands. You were helping me. You advised me on my ice maker. And thank you for telling me that I would be able to do that myself, even though I'm not handy. I was able to pull it off. But I think I have a Samsung, so I pulled that up and then was able to find the part from where you sent me. But there's 37 different ice makers. So how do you, what I'm curious about is as we're scheduling you guys for repair for one of our tenants, sometimes it takes 2 days, sometimes it takes 2 weeks. Explain to me a little bit of the process, like finding and acquiring and being able to get parts for all of these different things.
Well, parts aren't as hard to find as you might think for most of the appliances out there. Samsungs and LGs can be a little tricky just because there's really only one in-town distributor that usually stocks them.
Gotcha.
But when it comes to like Whirlpools or GE, there's a couple of different distributors in town, and most of the parts are readily available. Very rarely do you have to wait long to get parts. And if for some reason there is a part issue, something's on back order, there's also a lot of different avenues that aren't the most conventional, but you can find these parts and get your customer back up and running pretty quickly. That's
cool. And then again, let's just say an ice maker, because that's my most recent thing.
Yes.
Is there always 30 different kinds? Is it specific to the brand, or do they make them kind of general that you can plug in? Different.
No, they're kind of specific to the brand. It just depends on the type of ice maker. Your particular style with your particular Samsung is got to be specific. But there's not much of an aftermarket option, I guess is what I could say.
Okay.
But when it comes to most of the refrigerators out there, that you can easily get your hands on an aftermarket, but most of them are, because Whirlpool owns just about everything out there. So there's not too many different styles out there. Off the top of my head, I can think of 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6 different styles, and that's probably about as much as you'll run into, and they're all pretty common.
And so, tell me, what all appliances are you able to work on?
Well, we can repair refrigerators, washers, dryers, dishwashers, ovens, built-in refrigerators, high-end appliances as well. I mean, most everything. The only thing that I'll admit that I don't do is I don't do sealed system work. I don't replace compressors. I don't recharge refrigerators. I don't replace heat exchangers or evaporators. because in my experience, it's typically more cost effective, especially with the property managers. It's more cost effective to replace the unit than to put all that money into a used unit.
And, I would assume generally that's the same for a homeowner then, right? I mean, we tell people all the time, look, we could drop $1,500 worth of parts and labor, or you could get a new unit, right?
That is correct. It's 100%. And that's my philosophy on it. Other appliance guys might not think that way, but that's how I think.
That's good. Well, we count on guys like you to shoot us honest and straight. So, my biggest fear is anytime I got to go into the car replace, the car repair shop, I'm like, this is my first time playing poker. Please don't screw me. So,
don't show your poker face.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I understand. And the mantra with the company is we treat you like family. And that's really how we go into every repair and every situation. We don't want to take advantage of anyone. We just want to help.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, Mike, you got a question?
No, I just said it's fantastic. But yeah, I'll ask you something. Are you focused on a specific area of the valley?
I'm too new to focus my attention on one small spot. I'm trying really hard to grow, and I really want to focus on property management, because I like the idea of working with one person and tenants. It's just easier that way. But we're happy to take any kind of customer we can get. But no, I go pretty much all over the valley. I go as far north as Desert Mountain, as far west as Sun City, as far south as what's some look like Baseline, I guess you could say, or even Chandler, Sun Lakes.
Okay.
As far east as I've been to Queen Creek. So I mean, I'm all over. I just try to coordinate the repairs to where it makes a little sense.
It's something good to know. Good.
Yeah.
For sure. I think I've already referred you to some of my PM people on the east side too. So you live out that way in Chandler or something, don't you, or Gilbert?
Yeah, we're based out of Mesa right now. Yeah.
But you're kind of like me when you're on the road. You're just road warrior. Go where you got to go.
I go where I got to go, and yeah, I'm always thankful to have a repair from anyone who trusts us to do it.
So, is there any? You've been doing this long enough. I mean, like, everybody uses their appliance different. So, like, we're always trying to tell tenants, if you run the dishwasher 10 times a week, you're going to break the dishwasher down a lot faster. Some stuff you could spray off. Not everything has to go in there. We use our ice machine like crazy. So when that thing went down, it was devastating for the family to have to go to the freaking grocery store and buy ice. But obviously, how much you're using stuff can cause more wear and tear. But are you seeing now? I have a feeling like they don't make them like they used to. So we saw this definitely with air conditioners this summer. But do you feel like the newer brands, the newer versions of the appliances are better, worse, or kind of the same as the old stuff? I feel like the old stuff, you really had to shoot it in the heart to kill it, kind of.
Well, even, you can go back as far as the mid 90s, and the stuff that was being made back then was awesome. Like, it was still really good. But yeah, you're 100% correct. They don't make them like they used to. I would say any appliance you were to buy right now, within 4 to 5, maybe 6 years at the most, you'll have an appliance guy at your house working on it for some problem that will come along.
That's usually right after the warranty expires, right?
Well, most warranties, and this is funny, this is going to touch on the video you talked about yesterday. Most warranties that come with appliances last a year, but if you have a home warranty, a lot of the times home warranties will include appliance repair. So, that sometimes they can help as well, but they can. So
that's about the only time I ever tell somebody a home warranty may work is on the smaller appliances. They're going to fight tooth and nail to not replace a full air conditioner or even a water heater. But stuff like the fridge, washer and dryer, stove, dishwasher, a lot of times the home warranties will fix those because the parts are cheap enough. Or even if they have to replace a whole unit, a dishwasher is $400 or $500. These new fridges I've seen are like $2,000 and $3,000. So they're definitely going to try to not do that. But that's a good question. Are you doing home warranty work? Are you working for any of the warranty companies?
We recently have signed up to work with HomeGuard Home Warranty. It's been a little bit of a process as far as going through to get to be one of their vendors. Sure. We're real close to wrapping up on it and actually being a vendor and getting work from them. But right this minute, as we sit today, no, I do not work for a home warranty company.
Well, I'll be excited to hear how that experience goes because, I know it seems to me when we use warranty companies, they don't find the best vendors all the time. They find the vendor that's willing to do it for what they're willing to pay. But that'll be interesting to see what your feedback is once you get started with that. But I would encourage you to try it. I mean, it's going to be steady business for sure to get into that. What do you see going forward? I guess they're always talking about hard water here in Arizona, and I hate the water softeners because to me, it's just another thing that can break down in one of my clients' houses. But do you see, does the hard water, does it hurt and deteriorate these appliances faster?
I mean, I don't think I'd say so. The only thing I see with the hard water with the calcium buildup on older units is like maybe around the water dispenser on a refrigerator door or something like that. But I've never seen hard water be a hard contributor to a failure with any kind of an appliance as long as I've been doing this. So I would say no.
Cool. So I've only had a fridge with a ice maker for, I guess, the last 10 years. So we're always having to change the filters out, but the hard water doesn't screw up the like the dishwasher components or the filters or anything like that. It just, in your experience?
On some of the ice makers, a lot of the Whirlpool ones that have, I guess you could say, a cheaper mold, over time, I would say that I guess the hard water could affect the mold coming off, which contributes to an ice maker failure. But no, filters pretty much protect everything. And again, I've never seen anything fail because of it.
Well, in property management, we never like to use that word that you just use, mold, but that's good to know. That's the one dirty word we don't like to talk about. So good. Mike, do you got any other questions for Charles?
I don't think so. The only thing I was thinking I'd ask you was, we're talking about they don't make them like they used to. Do you think that's got something to do with, we've got more and more and more bells and whistles these days? You can push this button, it'll go off and find some recipe for you, or tell you what you've got in your fridge and tell you, oh, you can make these things. Is that just adding to things to break?
It's more than likely, like when it comes to a washing machine or something like that fails and you want to go shopping for one, I always tell people to try to stay away from the most expensive washing machine out there. You can buy the $450 one that has the actual agitator like we used to have when we were kids with our washing machines, and it will last you 4 to 5 years, and when it breaks, it will be a reasonable repair. But if you buy the expensive ones, especially the front loaders, like I always tell people, I love front loaders as a technician, but I would never buy a front loader as
I always think they smell like the water. Yeah. It doesn't drain well or something. They're weird.
Well, all water in a washing machine, there's always a little bit in the tub that you never see that's behind the basket. But they definitely smell, and when they break, they're expensive as a consumer, but they're great as a technician. But I would definitely want to stay away from those, and they don't make them like they used to, and it's almost like all the bells and whistles that are going to break are kind of like almost automotive, like they don't make cars like they used to.
Well, and how many modes do you need on your dishwasher? Like, just wash the dishes.
That's the same thing with your clothes washer or your dryer, like a steamer. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is.
I feel like, with the washing machine, hot or cold, that's your options, right? Just clean.
I agree. Yes, 100%. So yeah, you're right.
Well, Charles, man, I am rooting for you. I'm so glad that like I said, we've been needing an appliance specific guy for years. So we're very lucky that you came back into my life, as they say. So at least on the HomeQwik side, we are happy to be using you. And of course, knowing you forever, knowing your level of integrity, I'm happy to obviously refer you out as well. So my NARPA people that are watching this, Charles has been to a meeting or two and tries to do more. And I say, hey, use him, check him out. You've seen his info here on the screen the whole time. Mike, do you got anything else for Charles?
I think that's it.
All right.
Wish you the best for sure. And maybe we'll have you on again down the road, and you can tell us, where you're at now and what area you now focus on.
Yeah, that sounds good. I really appreciate you guys allowing me to come onto the podcast and introduce myself. Thank you so much.
Yep. Hang on, Charles, for 1 second, because we'll wrap after this. But everybody else, thank you for checking out me and Mike Stout. I didn't mean to rhyme, but I did. The Big Guys Biz Show. We want to promote you and learn about your business. So if you're interested, hit me or Mike up, and we'd love to get you on this pod or Zoomcast and talk about what you do. Thanks again, Charles. Thanks again, Mike. We will see you guys later.